In this video, I'm going to demystify the 10 common roadblocks that could be holding you back, putting you in the slow lane so that you can excel successfully and propel your business to new heights. All right, so we're going to jump into the 10 roadblocks that be holding you back in your construction business. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Best way to grow your construction business, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, like, super appreciate you for doing that. So jumping right in, we got 10 that we're going to cover here. We're going to be going over 10 that I see very often are holding contractors back and just kind of putting that limit on the growth and potential and scalability of your construction business. So without further ado, we're going to jump in. First one is a lack of clear vision or a business plan. So I'm not a big fan of having some, long drawn out business plans because often a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, things are going to change anyways. But you should have some sort of an idea, a vision in your head of what your business is going to look like in a year from now. Who are the people that are going to be on your team? What kind of revenue are you going to be doing? What kind of profitability do you have? Who are you going to need to bring into your business or connect with in order to get to where you want to go? By having that clear vision and some sort of a plan and goal in place, it helps you to work your way backwards. What are the steps? What are the milestones? What am I going to have to do in order to reach that goal? So that is the first and foremost key to making sure you're not limited by that roadblock of just trying to get along day to day, trying to make money, but not really knowing where you're going. Second big roadblock that I see is a lack of scalability. So often as contractors, you've got all these different things you're doing, wearing all the hats, trying to do this, that, and everything, maybe still jumping in to save the day on the tools or, doing some labor on site, whatever it may be. You're doing too much and you don't have any systems, you don't have any processes in place. So a lack of scalability is going to hinder you from growing larger because you can't replicate yourself and you can't grow a larger team if you don't have right systems, processes, mindsets in place for scalability. So that's number two. Still with me here? Number three. So each one of these, I'm going to give you a key system or idea to help you get past this roadblock and make sure that you can just blast through these and continue to grow a big and successful business. Number three is poor communication. So communication, especially in a leadership role, because you are a leader of your company, you are in a leadership position. So you have to lead by example and you have to lead by improving your communication with your team. This could be, a lot of different things, but one thing that I've seen that really helps companies get far in their communication is to have a weekly toolbox talk. So make sure you have a little bit of time, 10, 15 minutes, just connect with everybody on your team. If you have a larger business, you're going to have probably a management meeting and then you're going to have like a site meeting with the guys. Not that you need to be on site. It could be like a Zoom call with everybody, especially if you got guys on multiple different sites, but have like a company-wide meeting with the people on site, your laborers, your foremen, your superintendents, whoever it could be, and just do a quick roll call, see how everyone's doing, explain sort of new things that are happening, new business that's coming in, anything exciting, taking care of, there's always stuff that you need to get across of guys, how they're putting their time entries in, any kind of safety stuff that may need to be aware of. So it just gives that full communication across the whole team and is a great way to boost your communication. So number four, to move on to number four, ineffective resource allocation. So probably had this happen so many times where, you've had the wrong materials, too much materials, wrong guys on site, maybe guys are taking too long and you just, too many guys or not enough guys, too much materials. So there's ability to allocate resources and have a really good schedule, keep things streamlined, keep things efficient, keep things profitable. First, initial step, if you're not doing this already, is to have hourly job tracking per project so that your guys are clocking into specific projects and you're able to keep track of the hours. First, to give you some historical data of how long things are taking, but also know how much time is being, put towards specific projects so you can see how profitable, projects are and if you're going over on labor. You want to be doing this, across the board with job costing, but if you're not quite there yet, just having an hourly tracking of labor per project will already give you a big step forward in allocating resources properly and knowing if you're winning, making money, losing money, if you're winning on a project. So number five is limited data. So not having the right amount of data, not having the right information and knowledge to be able to make informed decisions, to making the right decisions, to making sure that you're effective with things like communication and resources and all this kind of stuff. So good thing to do for having limited data is make sure your books are updated regularly. So whoever's doing the bookkeeping, make sure that that is a process that continues to happen bi-weekly, weekly basis so that you always know where your books are at, where your finances are at, and do a monthly health check of your business. So every month you should be looking at not just your profit and loss, but how many new leads have come in, what's the cost per lead, very key metrics of, what's our work in progress, how much work do we have, are we going to run out of work? So a number of different key kind of numbers that you want to be tracking, and you want to be doing this at least monthly, doing just a full financial health check of where things are at so you can make informed decisions and you're not being held back by just trying to, be stuck in this fog of not knowing where your finances are at, or, which area you should be focusing on your business to get you into success. So I had this happen to me with a coach of mine who I was with at the time. We were looking through my books and finances. He asked what's your overhead? What's your cost of goods sold? And they was looking at it with a bit of a puzzled look and realized that my books weren't even in the right format to be able to give him those answers or tell him. I had a basic idea, but I really didn't know what I should be charging, because knowing those numbers help you know what to charge on projects, and it also alerts you. We quickly found ways to increase profitability and also realize kind of which projects and services I should either change or start looking at other ones that were more profitable. So there's a lot of good decisions that can come from knowing where things are at, how leads are, which work is in progress. It'll alert you, do we need to really bring in some more business, or do we need to make sure what we have is efficient? What's the next step and how to get there? So the next one, number 6, is inconsistency in process. So each one of these roadblocks has a cumulative effect and exponential effect. So you want to make sure that you are aware and utilizing these key points for all of them. Inconsistency in process. So this is very common. You may have guys on one site doing one thing, guys on another site doing something else. Maybe one project you're invoicing or collecting, deposits, or doing overhead markups, or estimating in different ways. So having inconsistencies, it's just a mess for everyone. It's frustrating for employees. It's frustrating for you. Nobody knows. No one can touch ground and actually build something, like a foundation from your business, because everything is just different ways. Good way to mitigate this is to use templates. So have templates for estimating, have templates for project schedules, have templates for project ordering. There's a lot of different templates you can do. Quality checklists. So have a template for quality controls, and this will bring consistency, peace of mind. It'll make your life so much easier, make your employees' life so much easier, and things aren't being missed, and your clients will feel this as well. When a client hires you and things are kind of people don't really know exactly how to do this or that, or it's just all kind of winging it, they will take that feeling, and it reflects badly on the service being provided. Even if you do great quality work, the quality of your business is determined by the experience your client has. So if their experience is that things are a little bit of a mess, unorganized, inconsistent, that's going to reflect on you. Even if you've done your job well, it's still going to put you at a lower level than some of those other companies that really have their shit together, so to say. So number 7, moving on, struggles with finding and retaining skilled workers. So this has probably been an issue for you at some point. If not, it will be at some point, is finding skilled workers and retaining them. So finding them is one thing, but retaining them is something else. I'm sure we've all had a good employee that ended up leaving for whatever reason, or bad ones that stayed around too long because we didn't do the hiring properly. So a good thing to help you with this, of both retaining and hiring, both stem from hiring. If you've hired good people that are a good fit, it will be easier to retain. There's still a lot of stuff you need to do when you have them as an employee, but if you hire the right people, they will stay longer. So what you want to do is keep a candidate database. So whenever you're looking for a new hire, if it's a carpenter, project manager, whoever it might be, general labor, make sure that you are keeping the estimates and the people that apply in a database, so that in a year from now or 2 years from now, if you need to hire someone else, you've grown, maybe someone left, you now have a database of people that you can refer back to and ask them, can you send me an updated resume? We are hiring again for this position. Please apply if you're interested. This will get you a lot more candidates, potential people that can come into the business, and you will get people that are off of the job market. So if you just put out postings for jobs when you need someone, then you only have a potential pool of essentially anybody that's looking for a job who's unemployed. And generally unemployed people who are looking for jobs either aren't great employees, maybe they're not having good experience at the job they're at, but generally the amount of people and qualified people that are really good at their job are going to be employed and working with a company that they like, or at least can, stand working for. So by keeping the database, you have potential to, maybe this person, you didn't hire them for whatever reason at the time, but they might be at a different company. Maybe they're interested in your position. So it gets more marketing out there and gives you access to people that are actually employable and are employed at other companies. Not that you should be poaching a whole bunch of people, but it helps you find those people that could be the best fit for your project and people that are employable, like I said. So making sense? All right. So moving on, we've got 8, 9, 10 coming right up. So hold on. 7 we already did. So number 8, so inadequate financial management. We touched on finances before, but financial management so key because as you know, things can get out of hand. I rarely talk to a contractor who hasn't had some sort of cash flow issues or wants to improve their cash flow or their profitability. It is an epidemic in small business, but definitely in construction is cash flow so important. And there is definitely a lot of good ways to manage finances and ways to do this ahead of time. And one of the big ones is making sure your deposits and payment schedules are in place. So this is the easiest, quickest way to fix a cash flow problem is make sure you're getting deposits up front for projects. And if you're unable to get a large deposit because some states or counties or whatever have different laws for this, but if you're not able to get a decent enough deposit to fund the start of the project, then have a site mobilization fee or some sort of fee like shortly after it starts so that you're not putting your own money into a client's project. You shouldn't be paying for materials, for labor to do a client's project. Plus, the problem with that is if you're putting money out and you're not collecting and have a deposit from a client, then you can only do so many projects as you have money for, and you're limited in your ability to grow and scale. If all of a sudden you go from 5 projects to 10 projects and you're not collecting appropriate deposits and invoicing frequently enough, then you're going to have a lot of your own cash burnt and you're going to run into cash flow crunches. By having a good, deposit up front, and then make sure you're invoicing for the stage of the project. So you collect a deposit that's being held, you always have money in the bank, and then you do the first week or 2 weeks of the project, and then you invoice, and then invoicing every week, every 2 weeks, so that you're always collecting money for work that's been done, and you always have a deposit available that's being either held in a separate account or being used to fund the project until that next invoice comes in. So you're always cash flow positive on a project. Hope that makes sense to you. If not, let me know in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer any questions. The next one, moving on to number 9. So ineffective marketing strategy. Marketing is a huge beast in and of itself, and there is a ton of different ways to market and a lot that goes into it. So having some sort of a strategy in place is a must. And knowing what I said before about the data part of it, of tracking your numbers, is knowing where to put your money, where to put your time into marketing. Should you be doing social media? Should you be doing email marketing? Should you be doing SEO for your website? So there's a lot of different ways, but knowing where you're going to get your best bang for your buck, and also what are kind of easy things that you can do and set and forget. So the key point here to think about is evergreen. Last thing that you probably want to do is spend a whole ton of time marketing, even though it may be what you need to do right now. But if you're going to be putting energy and time into it, think of ways that can be evergreen. And things that are evergreen are like SEO, so search engine optimization for your website. Not that there's not continual work to do, but it's something that you can set it and you don't have to think about it all the time and be putting out new content all the time. YouTube is a great one because you can set up a video. It lives there forever, essentially, as long as it stays current and is relevant. People can see it and they will continue to find you and search for you, especially when you have, like, for a local business, like a construction business, it's very easy to get YouTube videos out there because it's very localized and there's probably not a lot of people putting out videos for your specific area, for your specific service. As well as, lead magnets are another great one. So what can you offer to your clients that they're going to need before they need your services? So if you are, a home builder, a renovator, get inside your client's mind. What's the trigger? So what are they going to need for? What are they going to search before they give you a call? And it's probably something to do with the planning and design of a project. So if you can have some sort of lead magnet, something like how to plan your kitchen renovation in 5 easy steps or 10 easy steps or 10 things to think about when starting to design a home or a new home build or something like that. So something they're going to need beforehand, and you can use this, then you can promote it, you can set it out in your emails, you can have it on your website. This will help collect emails that you can send automated email campaigns to them. Hey, you downloaded our free resource to figure out your home. If you're interested in how to plan your home, then these are some other resources that you might like, or maybe you'd like to have a free home consultation, talk with our design team. So you have all this, like, it's an automated thing that can continue to work for you in the background. So hope that makes sense. Again, reach out to me if you need questions or need help with this. Links in the description below. Number 10, we got there, the final one, number 10. So if you're still with me, good on you. You're going to be successful because you stuck with it for the long run and you're getting all the juicy bits here. So customer dissatisfaction, having dissatisfied customers, even customers who just didn't really have a great experience. Even if you got the project done, they're happy, you're happy, but you didn't really, go above and beyond for them. That is something that's going to hold you back and limit your growth. So the best and easiest way is to get great referrals, give great client experiences so that they will tell their friends, their family, and everybody else and build that reputation. So best way that I've found to make sure that you're hitting the mark, there's a lot of like expectation work up front that needs to be done, and then obviously like a lot of client management throughout the project. But when you get to the end of the project, you've completed the project. Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, for hiring us. I hope we did an excellent job for you. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions, take about 15 minutes? That's all you need to do. And then ask for honest, direct feedback and tell them, we're always trying to do better. We're always trying to do better as a company. We realize we're not perfect. There's obviously things that maybe didn't go as smoothly as you would have liked in your project. Do you mind just giving us a bit of feedback? And then have a list of a number of different questions that you ask them. Things like, how was the project planning process? Why did you choose us over maybe some other people that you were considering throughout the project? What was your biggest, pain points, or what things did you not expect that you wish we would have done better? This will really give you very key research insights of like where you can improve your business and how to continually make sure you're hitting the mark and improving the experience that your clients are getting over time. Make sure you check out the links in the description below. I've got a free course, how to build a self-managing business, how to systematize your business, how to push through some of these roadblocks with getting your processes in place and procedures. So make sure you check out the resource. And as always, check out our other videos here. We've got tons of great content for you. We'll see you on the next one.